Hello, in this video we'll look at a classic tool in language teaching and testing, the so-called Cloze test, C-L-O-Z-E or C-L-O-Z-E if you're American. You've probably used one before, even if you didn't know the name. So let's break it down and see how you can make the most of it in your classroom. A Cloze test is a type of language activity or assessment where a short passage of text has words systematically removed and learners must fill them in. In a traditional Cloze text, every fifth, sixth or seventh word is deleted. This type of Cloze test is known as a fixed ratio Cloze. Students read the passage and try to work out the missing words based on grammar, context and logic. So here's an example. The weather was so blank that we decided to have a picnic in the park. Most learners would guess nice, good or warm, and they're using their language knowledge and common sense to complete the sentence. Now there are two main types of Cloze tests, fixed ratio and rational Cloze. In a fixed ratio Cloze, you delete every nth, like maybe fifth word, sixth word, seventh word, etc., regardless of meaning. This type is more mechanical and is often used to test overall language proficiency or reading comprehension. In a rational Cloze, the teacher chooses which words to delete based on what they want to test. Maybe grammar items like prepositions or key vocabulary from a lesson. This makes it more pedagogically useful for focused reviews. So why use Cloze tests? They're powerful because they make learners rely on a wide range of language skills, not just vocabulary or grammar, but also discourse knowledge, collocation and reading comprehension. They're also quick to prepare and easy to mark, and you can use them as a follow-up to a reading lesson, as a progress test, as a diagnostic task to see what students remember. And because they're short and flexible, they work well in both classroom and online environments. How could you create a good Cloze test? Well, when making your own Cloze test, you should possibly follow tips like the following. Choose short, coherent text, about 150 to 250 words is ideal for B1 to B2 learners, for example. Leave the first sentence complete so learners get some context. For fixed ratio Cloze tests, start deleting after the first sentence. Make sure the formatting is clear and use numbered blanks and line up the gaps neatly. If you're using a rational Cloze, think carefully about what you want to test. Delete target vocabulary, prepositions, connectors or grammar points that you've recently taught. And how to score them? Well, you can score Cloze tests in one of two ways. The exact word method, where only the original word is accepted, and this is quick but can often feel unfair. And the acceptable word method, where synonyms or grammatically correct alternatives are allowed, and this requires a bit more marking effort, but it's more realistic and fair to the learner. What are the limitations and cautions? Well, Cloze tests are useful, but they're not perfect. They can penalize creative thinking if you only allow one correct word. They sometimes disadvantage learners if the topic is unfamiliar or culturally biased. And they don't test productive skills like speaking or writing, so they should only be one part of your assessment toolkit. You can turn Cloze tests into collaborative tasks or games. For example, you give pairs of students a Cloze test and set a 5-minute timer. Once they finish, they have to justify their answers to another pair or to the whole class. And this not only encourages discussion, but helps them reflect on why a word fits. So to sum up, Cloze tests are simple to create, versatile to use, and effective at testing a range of language skills. Whether you're revising vocabulary, reinforcing grammar, or assessing comprehension, a well-designed Cloze task can give you and your learners a lot of insight.